Gawain steps up to deal the blow, and the Green Knight prepares himself. And if you notice here, there's a description of his preparing himself, where the Green Knight kneels down and uncovers the back of his neck, and Gawain sets his foot forward in order to chop off the head. And of course, one could immediately ask, why does the blow have to be at the neck? Why does it have to sever the head? For all practical purposes, to sever the head means the person should be dead. I mean, that's a killer blow. But also one could consider that the head and the body are connected through the neck, and the head frequently represents that realm of thought and intellect, all that makes us most human. The body is frequently associated with all that carnal realm, all that desiring and that longing that we have for the physical world, so that the head is more in that realm of chivalric existence. And the question, I think, comes up here of what, again, makes us human beings. Are we simply animals? Are we simply part of that carnal realm? Or are we part of that metaphysical realm, that realm of thought and nobility? Part of what connects nobility and thought to carnal is the realm of the neck. The neck connects the head to the body. And so in chopping off that head, there's a severing of those two realms. And Gawain chops the head off of the Green Knight here. The Green Knight prepares himself for it, and then down comes the axe, and pow, the head comes off. And of course, with a human being, that would mean the end of him. But of course, Green Knight's not human. And so he steps up immediately, and he picks up his head, much to the terror of everybody around him. And one could imagine what Gawain's reaction would be, because Gawain, seeing this, realizes, I think I'm in over my head, I suppose you could say. He's bitten off more than he can chew. He suddenly realizes this is an entity which is not a human entity. And if it can walk around with its head in its hand and still be alive, if you, of course, chop off the head of a plant or the branch off a tree, it just grows a new one. And the Green Knight is that green force. He grows a new head, so to speak. He grows a new limb. It doesn't affect him at all. So Gawain, realizing that he's now in a quest which is quite lethal, quite dangerous, is suddenly stricken with great fear. And the whole of the court, after the Green Knight rides out carrying his head with him, the whole of the court has to rally around him and bring him back into the fold and try to alleviate his terror, because of course in a year and a day he's going to have to face his own demise. So the very end of the canto ends with the Green Knight saying, "Find me at the Green Chapel in a year and a day." This place that he says is just the Green Chapel. Immediately we get a connotation of something holy, something like a church perhaps. And he rides out with his head in his hand. And the rest of the court then immediately, it says, made light of the Green Knight, as it says here. "Straightway of the Green Knight they made light. Yet it was though that day a marvel, a wondrous sight, though laughing they were gay." So the whole court just says immediately, ha ha ha, what a fun thing that was. That was really, oh, he wasn't that tough, and boy, he was funny looking, the Green Knight. And they're kind of making light of, I think, the realization that this means imminent defeat, ruin, and death for this young man, Gawain. And the first section here ends in a somewhat merry note, but there's a tinge or a hint of grimness, because although they welcome him back and they say that in a year and a day you have to do this, for now it's still Christmas, and let's make merry and celebrate. And so we end the first canto with joy and merriment and the idea of the Son return and the birth of Jesus. But it also ends with the realization that we have in a year and a day Gawain having to go out on that quest and seek his own death, find his own death. But we'll see that in the next canto.